What is up, guys? This is DaveAzzopardi, and today I'm with FM Scout showing you some saves that Football Manager players around the world have got on Football Manager 15 and what they've achieved in the past year or something. With Football Manager 2016 approaching, it's time to look back at how some of our fellow players have done on the game. So today, for the first episode of this new series, we've got a save here in the Hungarian Division 1 with Honvéd FC, Budapest Honvéd. It's a guy called Gary who saved this is. I've spoke to him a lot about it, and it sounds like such a good save. Before we start, if you do have any questions on this save, you can drop Gary a tweet on his Twitter. I'll leave the name of his Twitter in the description below. I'm sure he'll be happy to answer any questions, and he talks a lot about Football Manager on his own Twitter page as well, so he's well worth a follow. So we're on the main page here, and straight off the bat, this is his manager, and before the video I checked, and his stats are absolutely incredible as a manager. Games played 299 just prior to starting the 6th season, I think it might be. 225 games won, a 75% win percentage, which is absolutely incredible. A lot of his losses have come in Europe. As you can see here, this is the tactic he must be using most often. It's a 4-2-3-1 narrow. He hasn't got those wingers there, and he plays attacking style football. His stats are very decent across the board there. I'm not too sure what kind of coaching attribute he started with, but he's clearly worked himself up either way. We're going to go on to his transfers and see what his transfer acumen was like. If I could just get rid of all the cancelled ones there. He's got one active kind of transfer going on at the moment. And we're going to start off with the first season, see who we kind of brought in. He spent for 47k. He sold 525k worth of players, so that's quite a big profit from that transfer window. Let's check if any of these players are still with him. I don't think they are. They've all left since. So yeah, none of those players that he signed in his first season with him. This guy is now worth 2.4 million though. Who he signed on a free in the first year. That's incredible. Any of the other players not really worth much more than that. So very good business in his first year. In his second year, he signed a lot more players. He signed £1 million worth, sold 1.17 million, which again is profit. His biggest transfer in that season was 600k, Vitor Saba. He's not worth as much now. 2 million for that guy Roland Salai. He's playing for Sporting, so he's got quite a decent transfer acumen so far. Kumalo, which must have been a really good signing for that division, and quite a number of free transfers, so they must have all been quite young players, which he's still got on the books. He's still got quite a few of them on the books of Honvéd. So this guy who's about to leave the club, I think. So it's on Ricardo Fuller as well. So interesting to see how he would have done. He was now a coach at the club. Scored 2 goals in 6 games, so didn't really have a big spell there. Again, selling a number of players. 2016-17 season, signed 2.6 million. Again, making profit in the transfer window. Again, making some big signings. Hector Marin from Espanyol. Christian Tamas, which is a really decent signing from AC Milan. I think he's still at the club from what I know. Left back, yeah, it's really decent he does. Grabbing really good average ratings ever since joining, really. Next year, getting massive profits again from almost 5 million. Selling Alan Stevanovic to Forest for 2.5 million. Only signing 2.92 million of players on his own. Roberto Broccoli, I think he's now record 5 million, I think it was. But he's been in incredible form since he joined from San Marino in Italy. So it's a good sale for him. Getting profit after signing for just 600k. He's got almost 10 times worth of money. Coming in more present times now. Sold 10 million worth of players last season, and just 675k signings. And similar this season, sold £6 million worth of players, just signing £1 million worth. From what I know, Gary's been using his youth system quite a lot, which is always positive on this game. You've got, as you can see in his under 21, some many players with high potentials are in there. And obviously, he'll probably improve them as they come into the first team as well. His B team's not as active, but if we check out his squad, see what he's kind of doing with it. Let's quickly clear his squad and see assistant reports. Potential, he's got some great players in there, all very young. Look at the average age of that. There's no one over 20. They've got 26-year-old there, but apart from that, there's no one over 23 in this 23 in this squad. You've got a 29-year-old there. There's about 3 players over 23 in that whole squad, which is incredible. I'm going to check out some of his best players. If you've got any better strikers, we can have a quick look at the stats of. Ben Staru, who I've seen play against me. Decent stats all round, especially for the Hungarian top division. Physical stats are really good. 13 finishing, 13 composure. He definitely knows where the net is. Hector Marin as well, who is an attacking midfielder. Some great stats on there. 16 heading, 16 long shots. Again, really decent physical stats across the board too. Now we're going to be checking out how well he's done in the league in the past. Competitions. Go to Hungarian Division 1. Minimum expectation is for him to win it. First season, champion straight away. Just the 2 losses. 13 points ahead of everyone else. Second season, won it again. Very similar story, but was unbeaten this season. 12 points ahead of his nearest opponent. Next season, got a higher points, but 2 losses. Finished 23 points ahead. Another good season there, winning it again and again, and you know how the story goes. Champions League wise, he's in the Champions League. Try and see quickly how he's been doing in that. Competition wise, no, because they only qualified. There we go. Lost. They got through on the away goal. Sorry, on the Champions playoff. They beat Copenhagen. So we'll check how they did in the group stage in their the second season on the game. Finished bottom of their group, unfortunately. Had a really tough group, Juventus, Zenit and Olympiacos, and they got a victory which was I'm not too sure who it was against, but minus 13 goal difference. Scored 9 goals, to be fair to them. Win 6 games isn't too bad. Unfortunately, they conceded 22 and finished bottom of that group. The next year, we'll just go straight into the group stage. Did they make it? They did again, but another really tough group. PSG, Dortmund and Anderlecht finished bottom, but got 6 points on this occasion. 2 wins and 4 losses. Scoring slightly more goals, conceding less goals, so they're improving ever so slightly. Next season after that, finished 3rd, so we would have got Europa League qualification that year. Another couple of decent teams in there, Sevilla, Dortmund and Red Bull Salzburg. I'm not too sure how they would have done in the Europa League that year. We will check in a minute. 2018 to 19, which is the last season, and they qualified. They had quite a tough group as well. Celtic, Spurs, Honvéd and Bayern. So time to see how they did in the first knockout round, where they lost to Arsenal, unfortunately, 4-0 on aggregate. And I'll quickly check how they did in the Europa League. So there we go. He lost to Manchester City 5-2 on aggregate, unfortunately. So they were knocked out of the Europa League on that front. So that's kind of an overview of how they've been doing in competitions and how Gary's been going about putting the team together. It's time to see how he actually plays his tactics. So the tactic he uses, of course, is this 4-2-3-1 narrow, which I've explained about. He goes through an attacking mentality, fluid. He's got 11 instructions on, so short to passing, work ball into the box, play out of defence. So trying to play like a possession kind of game. Play wider, push higher up, exploit the flanks, close down more, tighter marking. So it's a high tempo, defensive, trying to get in their faces kind of thing, at the same time as trying to keep the ball and play attractive kind of football. So if I ask the assistant for the best lineup available, who's he going to go with? Well, striker wise, they haven't got many decent strikers now. Maybe Gary will invest after the sale of Broccoli. So it looks like a really decent side. You've got Luke Murphy in the middle, yeah, with Onzanzi, who looks like he may be the best player with the overall there, or Demi and Ruiz on that side. It looks like a really decent signing. It looks like I think Gary, all he needs to do now is trying to make a push further in Europe. The league surely should be just handed to him before the start of every season, really, and it's kind of how many goals they're going to score rather than if they're going to win or lose. On paper, his team is probably double as strong as some of the other teams in this league, which is incredible. But I really like the way Gary's gone about his transfer acumen. He's not signing many players with huge value. As you can see on the homepage, his transfer budget is incredibly high, especially for a team in the Hungarian division. With the way he's signing young players on frees at the start of seasons, and they're not coming into the team straight away. It's taken 3 or 4 years, but they're finally coming into the starting lineup, and they're starting to produce some real quality, which, to be fair, I've always wanted to do but never had the patience to do it, and kind of seeing this has kind of given me the motivation to want to do it on Football Manager 2016, especially hopefully the scouting system and the youth academies are improving on next year's game to give me more control on that front anyway. So I'm really impressed with how Gary in particular has done on this save, and it's kind of a lesson for a lot of us to see how we can do and use our youth academies to the top potential. So guys, if you do have a save that you think I could feature and have a quick look at on the channel, please do let me know. My Twitter is @DaveAzzopardi FM, and let me know kind of why you think you should be on this series. Please drop a like if you did enjoy this episode and think you can learn from what Gary's been doing. Subscribe if you're new to FM Scout and enjoyed the video. Don't forget to follow Gary on Twitter. His link will be in the description. My Twitter, which is @DaveAzzopardi FM. FM Scout's Twitter, which is @FM Scout. And I think I'm finally done. I'll see you all next time, guys. Cheers.